Hi all, welcome to Group 6 of Social Data Mining Technique. My name is Chanchal Parikh and I'm here to give an overview about our project. Let's start with about our data. Our data is about the newly found coronavirus disease called COVID-19, which is mostly found in animals, but in human it can cause diseases ranging from common cold to more severe diseases such as SARS and MERS. The purpose of working over this data is that it has affected everybody's life and still continues. So we found it interesting to work on it. Let's start with the project's main idea. Our project's idea is to show the data about COVID-19 on a website and store it into a cloud database. Storing data into the cloud allows better efficiency as user can access their files remotely. This eliminates the burden of physically accessing a device, as well as we can store vast amount of data and it allow user to access data working offsite, resulting in better collaboration. After this, we transfer these dataset into charts that are auto-updated. Data source. The site from where we took our data is government website about the coronavirus. This data is updated by the government on daily basis. From here, my teammates will continue. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Leonardo, and I'm gonna talk about the acquisition method for our data. So we're using a script in Python to request our data from the government's website using a GET request. And we're downloading the CSV file to the project folder. Then the file is parsed and uploaded to the MySQL Cloud database. So I'm gonna show you right now how it works. So this is the script that is responsible for downloading and sending the file to the database. We're using pandas to parse the data and to manipulate it. We're using SQL Alchemy to, basically it's a framework that helps us to send the data to the database. We're using wget to fetch the data from this link here, which is the link provided by the government's website. And we're using time as a module to wait for 24 hours after fetching the data. And we're using OS library to allow us to use the local directory. So the first thing we have here is our data URL. Then we have an instance of the SQL engine. So we have here our data for the database based on Amazon. And we start the script by fetching the data, downloading the CSV file, and storing it into the covid19.csv. After that, we're reading with pandas this file, and we are doing some manipulation to just clean the unuseful stuff, which is the name of the provinces and the name of the provinces in French, which we already have all the names in the database manually added so we can create a relationship that will be shown later on. So the first thing we do, we parse the date as a date format, and we sort all the values by the date. Then finally we send it to the SQL, and we finish our process, and the script will sleep for 1 day and 30 minutes to make sure that the data will be updated by the government. We remove the file and we sleep for 1 day and 30 minutes. And that's the script that's fetching the data from the government's website. And the backend is responsible for the API, which was made in JavaScript with Node.js. And I'll show it as well, how it works. So on the back end, we have the Express library. We are using cores to allow the the code to use the API, the HTML and JavaScript to use the API. We have a body parser, so we know that we're working with JSON, and we're using the Express library right here, and we're listening always on port 3000. So I created a route here, which is data. I'll show it later. And basically what we're doing on data is we're connecting to the database using the credentials and using the database name social data 1, and we're using the MySQL library as well. So basically we just got to do the get method here, which fetches the data for the province. So we have the ID of the province here, which has to be given, and it will return the data for the province ID. So for example, if I do localhost 3000 slash data slash Canada, for example, yeah, I have all the data for Canada, and I can do this for British Columbia, for example. I have all the data for British Columbia. So this will happen by running a query. We're selecting all the data for the province and doing an inner join here, joining the province ID with the ID that was inserted into the province table, which will be shown later. And we're filtering by the name of the province, and it will return a JSON object. So basically that's our backend, and now the data flow model will be explained.
Yes, hello, this is Salah. So as the business analyst for the group, I've created this chart in order to make it easier for the reach of how the website works, how the data flows in the website. So I've created this diagram. So starting with the government website, the data is pulled by the Python script and stored in the cloud MySQL storage that we created. Our website with the JavaScript code pulls this data from the database until the website, like to show it for the user on the browser. Also, I've attached to this assignment, I've attached the screenshots to know how does the data server online works and how the cloud looks like, the performance of the data server we have, and this is the configuration data for this. Also, here I can show the database itself on the Amazon website. We have the configuration points, and here we can monitor the performance of the server we are going on. And this is all I got for this assignment. Thank you.
Hello Professor, my name is Abhinandu. Today I am going to explain about entity relationship diagram of our project. So this is our data. Our data is having provinces and its IDs, and also it is having the rest of the data like the date and the number of cases confirmed and number of probable cases and number of deaths, so and the rest of the data. So we have divided the data into two classes, which is the province class and the data class. Province class is having the attributes of name and ID, and data class is having the attributes of date, the number of cases confirmed and number of cases, number of probable cases and number of deaths and the rest of the data. So this is how we have divided the data into classes, and we have formulated a data model.
Hello everyone. My name is Abdurrahman, and I'm going to demonstrate the website for you. Okay, so starting off with our homepage over here, the first thing you come across is this drop-down menu, and you can choose the province that you would like. For example, if you click on Alberta, you're going to select the province, and you're going to get all the data for this province. And the data is based on our ERD. It's for each province you have a set of certain data. For example, for each province you have number of cases, new daily cases, number of deaths, and so on and so on. And for example, if we choose a different province like Ontario, you'll see that the data refreshes for Ontario and you have the same set of certain data. And if we click on Canada, for example, you have the entire data for Canada. Okay, now moving on to the code for our HTML. And if I'm going to talk about the main part in our code, which is the container div over here, and this part is over here is this part, the drop down menu, and you have all these provinces as I've shown you earlier, and whenever you click on any of them, you call the selection change function, which is a JavaScript function in our code here. And whenever you click on any of the provinces, this function executes, and it just maps out or shows the charts for the data. Okay, and that's it for our HTML and website demonstration. And thank you very much.